Anyway, hate to be a little drum, but I just, I've been watching a couple of news articles this weekend and last night, and the country's really getting crazier and crazier. So, and I'm saying the same thing in hopes to get people's attention, because we need to have a united middle class. A united and healthy middle class creates a strong America. And you have to listen to who wants that to happen and has ways of making it happen. And then we need to vote people in and vote people out according to their strengths or weaknesses. And it's going to take some time to do, to get finally a handle over our political system, because we have no handle over this. And the founding fathers gave us this, we owe it to them. They weren't perfect people, and they were elites, but they at least saw that this country, the middle class of this country, needs to run the important issues directed by our politicians. And just like you have the head of a company and you have the crew of a company, if that's not going right in a company, one or the other, that company goes out, right? Well, this country is much, obviously a whole different scenario, but it matches a bit, because we're on the way to communism right now, or socialism, and there's just no getting around that fact that either we come together and we pull together and we look out for our neighbors and we talk to each other and we do those things that our founding fathers gave us the freedom to do, and or we don't have a society anymore. Anyway, we're going to start getting this down. I'm still working on some lighting. Barbie's moving to California, so she's going to be producer Barbie remote. But I think we might be able to get her on camera this way. So with all of that said, you guys have a great weekend. Say hi to each other. Go out and say hi to somebody. Just wave at them, man. Start that way. Just wave at them. Every time you see them, wave at them. If you don't know them. And then you'll see the reaction change, evolve. You'll see the body language evolve. Go out and say hi to a couple people today. Anyway, love you guys. Thanks for being here. Hey, how you guys doing? How is everybody today? It's actually here in Chicago. It's getting warmer, so it's coming good all the way around. I think we're going to be in our 50s. I was talking to producer Barbie. It's in the 80s out there, so it's California, right? Southern Cal. Hold on just a second. Let me let Jon know that he's not on stage yet. I can't hear him talk, if that's what I'm looking at. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Is that what you were looking for? Okay. Can I not be heard? Testing. What am I doing wrong?
The intro, I don't know what to do about this. So I'm just being honest. The political intro is.
We're not going to talk any political. It's this about the middle class. That was written. I was thinking about it. I'm going to shave that off, because we talk about these subjects. It's all about the great middle class, what they're concerned of, and what their interests are, how to empower them. I'm going to follow right along with you. I mean, I am not interested. We do probably 1-2 political shows, but it's about empowering the middle class.
I'm that's not sure, because my brand is not. I'm that's not sure what to do right now, honestly, Rod. I'm so sorry about, but maybe I didn't research your. I just don't know. I'm a little bit lost right now, and I really apologize, because that's not what I was imagining coming into right now.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you what. Why don't we do this? Why don't you? Because we'll have quite a few people on in a little bit. We usually get about 400 or 500 a show, And I can see one person popped on already. They usually quite a bit of questions. I was interested in this show because of the what you do in how that relates to making people more informed, more involved, and I'm really curious about that. I mean, seriously, John, that's the reason.
Sounds good. I'm just gonna dive in, and I'm just gonna tell when this is going to my people when you're producing it. Not sure if I'm aligned, and it's okay. We all have different. I love what you were saying about. It seems like a little bit of a bridging of a gap thing, and to me, that's really, I take that to heart. That to me,
yes,
bridging whatever political thing is, whatever it is. One issue in the country right now is that it's a us them, and it's like, and that cannot hold. That cannot hold.
100%.
Period.
Yep.
Like we love, people we care about, people that we're working. You know, a fellow photographer. You know, he was on the other side, and then the fact that there's the other side, this side, the other side. That cannot last in our country. Mm-hmm. We have to find ways to get each other, to see where they're coming from, and to get the wonderfulness of each other. And actually, and if you mind, do you mind if I just keep on going on?
Let me just say this. Totally agree with you 100%. And why this channel was created.
Oh, really?
For us to talk and go and look at some of the older ones. There's like 90 videos.
I should have done my research.
Oh, no. Go, brother.
Awesome. So it's almost like it's a really amazing segue into the heart of what I do is to capture the truth of the human in front of me for headshots and portraits. In a situation where we're like, you know, I'm in front of some lights here, and believe it or not, this background is not fake. I happen to be in Costa Rica. I'm on a farm, and it looks like a fake background, but it's not. You might hear some chickens in the background, and I'm excited.
I should have done this one in person.
Right. Yes.
Beautiful place. That's a beautiful place. Go on, man.
Okay. So exactly this, actually, the seeing the truth of each other. And so for me, at some point I did online dating photography is initially, meaning like a friend of mine was a dating coach. He
a dating coach,
believe it or not,
one of the higher end kind of dating apps. It's not that.
Yeah, he like helps people that are struggling, and usually old elderly people like myself struggling to find a match, and he helps people figure it out. And one of the pieces of it is the online dating apps, right?
Wow.
And people have like horrible photos there, and he helped me send some of his clients my way. And he said, "Hey, John, we have to capture the authenticity of the person, not just of, you know, what they look like. That doesn't do any good. We want to know, want to allow a potential match to really feel the person." And so I took that on. And the biggest thing I took, like when I started to shoot some clients, I was realizing that in the process of the shoot, I was seeing something about them that almost they did not see themselves. And I was able to bring it out and capture it. And they were seeing a different side of themselves that they weren't aware of. And to me, that was just like, wow. Like I had a regular, you know, I got paid pretty good. I had a regular photo shoot. And the other day, it was almost like I didn't care about the money. I just changed a life. I just allowed this person to truly see themselves in a way they literally have not seen themselves before. And part of it, like obviously the lighting, whatever, the competition, you know, but really wasn't even that. What I was doing and what my coach said I had to do was capture almost a candid in the middle of a headshot. And that's kind of an oxymoron, because when there's a headshot, you know, there's no candid there. There's no
right. You're performing almost.
Exactly. And then usually, you know, so when the subject themselves were able to see the photo, it allowed, because there was this element of candid, they were able to say, instead of saying, wow, what a cool photo you took, John, they were able to say, I think I lost you, Rod. I lost you. I think
no. I remember I said at the beginning I may jump off because look at a couple of things while you're talking.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No worries.
Hey, before you get started back in, I want to apologize to everybody out there that is coming onto this video at some point because I left John stranded and frazzled. First, the IT got all wang bangled, got all messed up, and then he saw the entering video and was like, "Oh my God, where am I at? This dude's crazy. I don't align at all with him." No. So anyway, go ahead. I'm going to pop off for a second and do a little bit of tweaking.
Sounds great. So
right,
I'll just speak to you and everybody else that's watching. So I found that it was really amazing when they saw the photo with this element of truth in it, like a candid. Like a candid is believable. Period. You can't fake a candid. A candid, if you do a candid, if somebody you're doing something, having fun, a photographer over there shoots you, you don't know they're there, they catch you being happy. When you see the photo, it's like, I was happy. You see a happy person. You can't fake it, right? So I was able to, because he told me I had to find ways of bringing in a candid in a headshot. The client knew I was there taking their picture, deer in the headlight, and I somehow had to, do some hokey pokey magic and allow them to ignore, to think I wasn't there just for a second while I clicked. And in that moment, it was real. And that allowed the subject, when they eventually saw the photo, this is what I was really getting at, Rod. This was just amazing for me when, at that point, when the subject sees the photo, it went from, wow, Jon, what a beautiful photo you took of me. You did a great job. What great lighting. The makeup was so good, beautiful. I love it. Great. To looking at the photo, pausing with their eyes wide. Oh my God, Jon, I didn't know I was that. Because they were able to truly take it in, because it was now believable, because I had this element of candid in it. Yes, Rod.
Exactly. Yeah. One of the things that caught my eye about what you're coming on and what we're talking about is, and no boasting here, I had a very short career as a model and extra. But the only reason I bring that up, I've gained a few pounds in a few hundred years. But right. The thing that the reason I said that is because I can still remember those moments during a photo shoot where you felt locked in, like there was a mental almost connection to, like your soul was going into the lens, meaning me. And, it didn't happen every shot. It happened. And those were the ones that just knocked people out.
Right.
That's kind of what you're talking about, right?
Exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. We were setting this up, I started looking and I'm going, wait, I get this. And it's a very special feeling when that happens.
It sure is. And here's the thing. So there's like different levels. Let's just back it up a little bit. A candid at a party, you're unaware, you're just playing with your grandkid, you're just having fun. You somehow the photographer, you didn't know there. Somebody had a picture, they took a picture of you in joy, right? You are obvious and being, happy. Wow, who am I? That's an accidental thing that could happen, right? And just like a headshot, sometimes that happens. Like what you were talking about when you were doing your modeling, every once in a while, you had that experience of when you felt you just knew it was happening. You were allowing yourself to be genuine.
Absolutely.
The distraction or the awareness of the camera for a second kind of disappeared, and your amazingness, your soul was allowed to be present for the click. And that was
a good way to put it.
So what I'm bringing to the photography world is we do not have to rely on chance. There's easy ways with a little bit of hokey pokey stuff to allow that subject not only to, for a second, to be distracted enough by the camera to be real, but to even be a certain kind of real. Like if that photographer, that model photographer, they needed not just random soul kind of, let's say a particular side of you, Rod. Let's say if it was for a particular purpose, marketing purpose, they needed strength, they needed soft. Like did they have the capability to bring out that genuine, purely candid sense of you, of soft or strong? So when when the potential client sees that photo, they see, oh my God, he is strong, so whatever, like a therapist, you see the softness, a lawyer, you see the strength, and that allows their potential client to say, oh my God, wow, that person really has that quality that I need for this, for whatever it is, for the therapist or the lawyer. It's obviously something very, very different. So,
Yeah,
so I got just, yeah,
sorry.
go ahead, Rob.
I thought I was going to time that perfectly. I missed it.
It was so close. I just got
It was
that was
so
good.
when you're talking about this, you're referring to a fact that it's a razor's edge. I mean, they always talk in photography. You always talk about capturing the feeling, the moment, capturing that. That's what, and some of the best photography in the world has been, capturing, some things that happened in war or big moments that were captured. But every day, you can really approach that. But how difficult? What's the process? How is that? Is that really difficult to do? I mean, you got to have the eye first, obviously, and then what?
Is what hard to do specifically?
To capture that, like when I was talking to you about the essence, the soul appears, and I felt that, but it didn't happen every time. How does it happen?
So here's so I'm just going to be really clear. Like from my perspective, I'm creating a paradigm shift in the headshot industry. That's my desire. Okay. I'm bringing out to the world that this element of authenticity is not a secondary thing or a tertiary thing. Sure, I'll figure it out. I'll take a picture. The lighting, of course, is primary, posing, background, whatever. Of course, like that's what people learn and study. And the concept of authenticity, of a candidness in the photo, is like barely even acknowledged as a thing. And it's like, photographers like ask their fellow colleagues, hey, how do I do this or whatever? It's like so not thought of. And so to answer your question, like, you ask seasoned photographers, and when I don't bring this to seasoned photographers because they think they got it. And they probably do.
There's always a little ego in there, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
And it might have taken them 10 years to figure it out. And some people.
Uh-oh. No, we're just going, dude. Hang in there. Come on, make it through. Hey, just while we're getting back with Jon here, he's out in Costa Rica. That's where I think he's living. He's out in Costa Rica in a farm, and that background is his back porch. That's pretty cool. But unfortunately, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take him off, and then I'm going to see if he can come back on. Well, I'll tell you what, technology is amazing, but sometimes it's a real pain in the rear. Jon, if you can hear me, I can't hear you. There's a lot there. Okay, so he jumped off. There's a lot of questions coming in. So that makes it a lot more exciting when you can do these. I'm going to try and time this out. Go ahead, come back in, Jon. I know he was having an issue with his recharging system for his the camera and the laptop and video. So amazing insights, Jon. How do you get even the most camera shy people to feel comfortable? Very good question. These are awesome questions here. Jon, come back. I can't talk about all the idiosyncrasies and the special moments of camera without you there, bud. Click on in. Use that same link. You should be able to use that. Unless you guys are having issues down there in the code. That's the other thing. So he lives out there, but now all of a sudden he's got technology that their infrastructure, their power grid, and so forth. It's a more of a vacation more style versus say the United States or something that's got a lot more integrated grid system to it. All right. Let's see. Next one. So love the discussion. Authentic expression is everything. What's your go-to technique for capturing it? We were just getting there, Bob. Oh my God, that's a perfect question. We were just getting there. How does that? Oh, is he back? He's back.
Sorry, man.
I got you.
That was on me.
Hey, our show's over. Everybody is excited about everything you just did because I did such a great job at explaining it.
No
All right,
shit.
let's go back.
Uh-oh.
I was free balling there, man. I was going after it.
That was good.
All right, let me go back and run through a couple of questions before you start up again.
Obviously, I won't stop once I start. You know that now.
I can elbow you a little bit. I've got some grit there. Okay, so this is a good question, and the next question is perfectly timed because we were just talking about how does it work. So let's start off. Amazing insights, Jon. How do you get the most camera shy people to feel comfortable? Good question.
That's a really great question. Let me just think. So here it is and it's almost like, if you don't mind, I'm backing up to answer that question.
Yeah,
I was kind of just getting there. And so normal photographers, they think they have to be the therapist and even have to answer that question to find lovey-dovey, blah, 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 blah. I'm not even that good at it. So I found some tricks to get them. The way that I do it, I'm just playful and having fun, and they don't even know I'm taking their picture. And that
brings down their wall, right?
Totally. We're just having fun. So I hope you don't mind this. It's a little bit hokey, but I'm part of this dance world, and I came up with this dance for what I do. And the dance is, so it's like the clicking is secondary. The real thing is me playing around, blah, blah, blah. And I make the photography very minimal. So they barely even know I'm taking their picture, honestly. And to answer the question of the person that asked that is like, I should, but I don't really, of course, I just make them feel comfortable, but the way I make them feel comfortable is as quickly as possible to have them forget that they're having a photo shoot.
Good way to go. Good explanation. I get that totally because you can distract a person into becoming comfortable.
That's really what I do. And we're just having fun. And it ends up being, hey, we're just having fun.
Exactly.
And that actually becomes part of really what I do.
Yes.
It's to answer, is to, like, when you also, that question is, how do you capture that stuff? And the thing is, it doesn't have to be, it can't be a big deal. Like some photographers,
you mean inside their head, what you're making it up to be?
Head. And the photographer says it cannot be they need to have perfect banter, or perfect this or perfect that, or to be able to be therapists and do that. I'm not. So I happen to have an assignment years ago that I had 10 minutes, about 7,000 shoots. And each one of these 10-minute shoots, I had to capture authenticity. And I had to find ways of doing it simply, easily, without being the therapist. So for example, like to get somebody being happy, I mean, this is a simple one. I'm cracking a joke. And while I'm cracking a joke, they're just laughing. And it ends up, when they see that picture of them laughing, when they look at it, it's, wow, I'm a happy person. Or when somebody else sees it. So I'm doing tricks to allow genuineness to be present. And then I have a system of capturing that very elusive moment before they remember there's a camera in their face.
Excellent explanation. I totally get that. Excellent. I don't know if this makes sense. Am I missing something here? Brilliant conversation. I agree with that.
I love that question. It's a brilliant question. Love it. It's absolute. I didn't realize there were questions I didn't realize there's people watching this.
I'm gonna put every once in a while, I'm gonna put a question on.
Please do.
I thought you saw it because I thought you saw it because you were answering the questions that I was putting up there.
Oh, that's interesting. So I love that question. Whoever answered that.
Tell me about it.
So I love it. So let's back it up too. So in terms of headshots, there's different industries. So my redefining headshot photography and really paradigm shift of it. So I'm gonna slow it down. If you don't mind, Rod, I really want to slow this answer down a lot and really backward. Okay. So a headshot, somebody is coming to the photographer because they need more business. They don't really get it, what they need. Somebody says they need a headshot. From their perspective, they need a pretty picture, right?
Yep.
And really, what they need is an image, and it's really one image that when somebody looks at it in our world, it's all the first thing is a photo, somebody to look at it and maybe say yes. And the yes could be, I'm just going to stay on the page. I'm just going to look a little further. I'm going to read. I'm going to click or something. I'm going to be present further. And that photo needs to do that. And what I'm
tell a story. That photo needs to tell a story.
Not tell a story.
Okay.
It needs to reveal
an emotion.
Nope. It needs to reveal the truth of the person, the personality of the person, not a story.
Gotcha.
Not even emotion. Maybe no, but it needs to allow because if it's for a headshot, it's for marketing purposes.
Yes.
And people don't necessarily think of it that way. That one headshot without the text, without the graphics, it's the most important marketing to allow their potential client to connect with them and say, yes, I like who I see. This person in the photo, I feel them, I see them, and it's most, most demonstratable, let's say for a therapist or a lawyer. And that's where I'm getting to the question there. Thank you so much for that.
You bet.
Tips, golf tips. That let's think about this. Somebody's looking for a therapist, right? And there's the potential that, sometimes I'm, a little personal. Sometimes I'm looking and, psychology today, there's lists of pictures with a little blurb. I don't look at the blurb. The picture, I'm waiting for that photo that it's not the lighting. I can give a hoot about the lighting or the perfection of the pretty picture. I'm waiting till I see a photo of somebody. I feel that, I feel I can be share my innermost feelings with them. I feel safe with them. I feel they're going to serve me because I get who they are with one photo. With just one photo, I get who they are. And that's going to allow me.
I get the difference from what I said.
And that's going to allow me to say yes. And the purpose of a headshot is to cause the viewer to take action, right? I mean, now let's back this up. Really get to that question about the okay, I'm going to go back to that other question if you don't mind, because I'm still on the other question.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I think we already answered the next one anyway. I was just going to add, because help people feeling extreme. We went through that on somebody being shy, right?
Do you mind if I keep on going?
Yeah. No, I don't.
So a therapist, right? I will, as a photographer, I need to know for certain that I'm the expert at being able to capture a sense of whoever's in my client might come to my studio. In this case, let's say she's a therapist. I need to and let's say she comes in really grumpy, right? And I can tell, well, she might be a grumpy, mean person. I don't even care. I don't care. I need to find a way to capture an image of the person to allow the viewer to say, wow, she is such a kind, open, loving person. And I have tricks and ways of doing this. A lawyer, different industries. Now to a lawyer, first of all, the photographer needs to think from the perspective of their client, what would make them say yes? And for a lawyer, really, it's a Doberman pincher. It's like, especially like a criminal lawyer, I need to be certain that lawyer is going to keep me out of jail no matter what, or keep me from losing all this money no matter what. So I need to see, like really, I need to see vicious almost for me to be confident that person will not stop till they win. And so that's answering that question. So there's just different techniques one needs to have to listen different sides of a person. And that's what I have in my course. And that's really why I'm here, by the way. I have a course to teach photographers how to do that.
Perfect. We'll definitely dive into that a little bit more. I want to get a little bit more caught up on these dang things. People are bugging they're jumping in on our conversation and they're taking up our conversation. So we gotta fill them in here. Still, yeah, we went through that. We just talked about that, right? This one, oh wait, no, where's the headshot one? Hold on. Oh, sorry, I skipped it. Do you want to approach it that way? Do you want me just to follow what you're talking about and pick up moments as people are asking? Because I want to give them, that information. All right. Biggest mistake professionals make in their headshots. I was sort of a professional back in the 20s, but how do I say this? You have no expertise in what reading that picture is. If a professional's device not connected, see if I can get him back on here. Yeah, one of the issues with living on a farm.
And I think living on the farm, sorry about that. Hopefully this won't happen. I changed a different thing. But to answer that, do you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. You're on now. You were breaking up, but now you're good.
Great.
You're perfect.
Should I just should I answer? Go ahead and answer that question.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Rob, about this.
Hey, look.
The biggest mistake professionals making their head shots. I'm curious if. Can you hear me?
Every once in a while. Yeah. Every other word kind of thing. Yeah, like every other word. Can you hear me? You can't hear me. I can hear you. I can hear you. See, did he get that? New comments. Oh my God, we have so many comments here. Once you jump back off and jump back on, I don't know. Yeah, your screen froze. What's the biggest mistake of professionals make in headshots? We're going through. Oh, go ahead.
This should work now, I think. This should work now. I think we should be all set, I hope. Okay, so biggest mistake. I'm not sure what you mean. The professionals getting their headshots taken, or the professional headshot photographers. Can he answer that? Person answer that?
I don't know. He's well, we'll come back to it. We'll leave that. But what I think, I mean,
I'll say both though, if you don't mind.
Okay,
I can just say both directions.
Sure. Yeah.
The biggest mistake professionals is that they don't really get that what they need is a marketing photo. That they think they need a pretty picture and they don't. And so they need to go to a photographer that's capable of taking a marketing photo. And from my perspective, a marketing photo, especially for a service professional, that the potential client needs to get them, that they need to be certain that their photographer is not able to just take a pretty picture, that they know how to capture this genuine connection ability for their potential client to connect and say yes because they get them. And from the other perspective, from what's a big mistake professional photographers is they don't get that the photo they're taking is one photo by itself is a piece of marketing. And guess what? Lighting doesn't convert. A pose doesn't convert. What converts is their potential client, their clients, potential clients, to get them and want to say yes because they get them. Not lighting does not do that.
Yeah, I mean, there's some aesthetics, but everything else is more important, right? The capturing of that moment when you've accomplished that goal that you live your life by, just like in anybody's dealings in what they do. What about this? Once you share
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So I did dating photography, and I did dating photography when I first started out with people, mostly women in their 50s. 40s, 50s, 60s, feel so insecure. They didn't divorce women. They didn't think they'd ever have to do this again. Now they don't like the way they look. They don't like their age, their body. They're like everything. And they're coming to me terrified of having a shoot, wanting a shoot, or even if they got it for free. There was something and they couldn't do it because they just couldn't. And I got this testimonial from a woman that she said, it was something like, I don't know what John did, but he just caught me off guard. And it was like she was saying, I didn't know I was so pretty. I didn't
Wow.
know. And
Wow.
now I could go forward in my dating knowing that, wow, I might even be pretty actually. And
Confidence.
wow. Yeah.
Confidence.
And it was true. It was like she was changed, and that made me wow.
Absolutely.
What's your
What about your tap tip for capturing
uh
genuine emotions? We got some
specifically in business?
photography fans here.
Good. In business portraits. Great question.
Yep.
Believe it or not, some of the stuff, and just so you know, I use everybody around to get stuff. Like, for example, Peter Hurley. If you're asking that question, maybe Peter Hurley, the person who asked it. It's the squinch. There's a thing called the squinch, and I think I might add something to what Peter Hurley does that I think, or maybe I see something in his work that he might not even see, because there's something called the squinch. And let me just show you. I'm going to try to do it, and actors know how to do it. And what it does, it's like squinching your eyes and it might not work this way, and a little bit of a smile. There's certainly a very exact way to do it, but it gives. Let me try to see if I can do it. I'm not sure if I did it right, but there's a certain combination of that strength and a little bit of confidence, a little bit of a smile, that combination that works. But that's just one trick. But thinking of a business portrait, first of all, it's what business, honestly. So a business portrait, that same question, lawyer versus therapist, it really matters. And to me, there's two different dials, really. There's the dial of confidence, expertise, and there's the dial of approachability, kindness. And each one kind of separately could be handled. Like, how do I get the strength? And some ways of getting the strength or the confidence could be to help them remember something when they really, really help somebody, and they'll tell the story and get, oh yeah, they'll get into their own self-confidence, and then adding in a little playfulness. There's different ways of tweaking the dials, but it's those two. There's different techniques of doing each one. There's actually many, many different techniques of getting each one of those things of confidence, strength, and softness. And back to the original question of way back then of how do you do it? I forgot what you asked about. It's not bringing out the blah, blah, blah. There's just tricks. You try this, you try this, you try this, you try this.
Experience.
And if that doesn't work, you try the next one. And I realized, because I had 10 minutes to nail it, I had to have backup plans. Just like the photographer, you have a backup camera. For this, you needed a backup option, because, it's not like lighting. If you set it and forget it, it's, each human reacts differently to the prompts that you might give them. So you have to have many, many, many different options to get the different ways of accomplishing that. And this course has like 120 lessons or whatever. There's so many options. And just like a backup equipment you really do need.
Is this a video? Is this a video course? Okay, so it's a series.
It's a 3-month program.
For a minute, I'll get back to the questions.
It's a 3-month program. There's a video component, and then there's a one-on-one component. There's homework, because I want people to succeed and become the expert. And you can even become I forgot what it's called. It's so funny to be certified actually in this system. So you can actually say, I'm a certified blah, blah, blah. I forgot what I'm calling it right now. I haven't really certified. I think second level headshots, honestly. I think that's what I might be calling it. I'm not really sure. Second level headshots, because it's really above what's normally thought of as a good headshot. And normal headshots aren't really good enough, honestly. Okay.
Yeah, and that's interesting you say that, because I when you talk about above, this is an interesting question to me, because the obvious answer isn't the obvious answer. You're getting a headshot, but does your body obviously isn't necessarily going to be in the photo, depending on whatever you're doing, but is your body language affecting what's going out through your eyes into that headshot?
Oh, really? That's such a great question, because it's honestly, I kind of did it with the squinch. I hope we're not losing each other. What I think I have a little bit of different. Okay, good. What I have a
Yeah.
different perspective with Peter Hurley, like he owns the Squinch, and Peter Hurley's amazing. What for me, what I see it does, somehow it does something internally to me. It's not just a look. When I do that, you guys can try that at home, actually. Just squint your eyes a little bit, you know, and put a little tiny bit of a smile on your face, and possibly you might feel differently. When I do that, I'm just gonna do it right now. I feel like, you know, are you allowed to swear on your show?
Yeah, shit happens, man.
There you go. So I feel like I feel like I'm hot shit when I do that.
Yeah,
I just feel like like women are gonna line up waiting to talk to me.
Yeah.
You know,
it just
There's something
changes
about
your
it.
old perspective, right?
It changes something. The physical, I think, absolutely changes internal. And to me, that's really when it works. Like what you were saying, Rod, about what the experience you had when you were a model. You felt something. You felt.
Yeah,
and to me,
I was just thinking of that.
And that's like
you
essential.
feel.
Sorry,
I'm sorry. You feel that lifting, that you know, whether you're going for sensual or you're going for confident.
Absolutely.
You know, when you hit that moment, the squinch, you feel that energy
You have to feel
inside.
it.
Yeah,
And you have to meaning.
Yeah.
No, but meaning like, if to me, it won't work if you don't. Like, so to me, there could be prompts to get somebody to, you know, there's like, you know, TED Talks about using motion and using your body to create internal feeling. And it only works if it does it. If it lands, then you are it. You're not looking it, you are being it. Click.
Yeah, that's huge. This is a great question too. You know, cultural differences. So, you know, when you're taking pictures, you know, the great middle class is made up of, I don't know, a couple 100 million people. And within that, there is every type of personality that's there, but there's also every type, several different ethnic.
That was great.
I know you're going to try that again.
That was
ethnic.
Good.
There it is. And so, do you? But yet you're still a person. So if you're an American, your reaction, whether you're Indian or Hispanic or whatever, is from your culture, right?
I mean, to that, first of all, like I'm in Costa Rica right now. I'm exploring just being
an
expat over here. Being an expat here, and just like, everybody, this is like this is not a virtual. I'm in like a farm. You might hear some chickens in the background, but I wanted to. Yeah. So the answer to that question is that I don't know yet, and I'm here with my equipment, and I want to find out. I don't know if there are, but to me, a laugh is a laugh is a laugh. You know what I mean? There might be different ways I might prompt people to be different, but that's a brilliant question, Kate. I would love to somehow give you that answer, because I'm curious and I have no idea.
Maybe there's a follow-up. Maybe there's some follow-up to go. We'll jump on that in a second. But okay. But a nice evolution of different things, because we're all on a journey here. Yeah. I mean, this show, a different show slightly, but I run a machinery business, and I've literally on Friday I canceled my last contract and am going full. I'm 62 years old, and I'm throwing it all the way to the wind. What month are you born?
June.
Oh my God, June what?
22nd.
Oh, that's my mom's. I'm 3rd. My dad was 25th, all in June.
Got it.
Lonely winter nights, I guess, huh? So what's the best way to?
The math. That's so funny. You actually did the math. That's funny.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm overly curious about things. That's why I do this thing, man. Here, this is when you were starting to go to, and I held you back for a second. Yep. Corporate events.
Yeah. So corporate. So Citrus Hill. I'm curious what your name is, but Citrus Hill. The cool thing about I'm not really. I don't want to be all just, promoting myself with this course. But
hold on just a second. Hold on just a second. I hate to interrupt, but we're about ready to go over our highest peak of viewers during a show. We've done 90 videos. You're about ready to set a record here, brother.
Nice.
So go on, finish what you were saying. And by the way, I like screwing around a little bit. So
I love it
sometimes
too.
there's the
We're
tap
on the
dance.
same page. I love
All
it.
right.
That's like my
All right.
hobby is messing with people. So we're on the
Yeah.
same page. So I love that question, Citrus Hill, whatever your name is. That
Citrus Hills, yeah.
Citrus Hills. Sorry, Citrus Hills. That with in a normal. Let me just really give me a space. I don't want to feel rushed with answering these questions, and I'm
No.
feeling a little bit rushed.
No.
So a normal in your portraits session, you might have time to do banter and blah, blah, blah. And you really might have that time. And you might be that person, if maybe you're a photographer yourself, that you of course have the skills to do that. But what if you are in a corporate setting, meaning what I'm imagining you're saying, sometimes I need to go into a company and there's 30 people lined up and I have 2 minutes. 2 minutes because they're busy people. They have to get back to work. 2 minutes to capture that genuineness. You need tricks and you need backup tricks. And actually, I'm going to show you one. There's certain, literally turn your head this way, do that. And somehow magically, literally, they don't even know what I'm doing. They don't know that I'm doing a trick even. I'm just telling them, turn this way and then turn. One thing, a version of this is turning away from the camera. And then slowly turning towards me. Slowly, and there's a certain way to do that. There's a certain way to do that in the instant of connection, the micro instant of connecting with the camera, there's life there. And I call that, I forget what I call that. Sometimes I call some of my tricks something, but it's like there's life. When I'm going to do it right now, actually. So I'm going to do that one a little bit. I call it find me with your eyeballs a little bit. It's a complicated trick to get this. And you're looking away, moving your eyeballs to the corner of your eye, right? And I'm just going to slowly turn around. And it doesn't always work, but
that was good. I saw that at the end.
Did you really?
Yeah, that was interesting.
In the
your head is catching back up to your vision, your visual point. In other words, you leave the eyes after you turn them all the way to the left. You leave them there while you turn your head, right?
It's really complicated, something like that. But the thing is, it's very complicated. It's not even a trick. It's like a very complicated series of things that somehow, when the eyes land on the subject, it's almost like they saw the person for the first time, and there's like, oh, there's a person there. And there's some life that happens. And sometimes just getting that sense of realness is all that's necessary. And so for a corporate setting, to get that, I tried to have it inside where the actual office is in the background, out of focus. And then to get this emotion, there's different way. Actually, depends also on what the corporate brand is. Like one corporate brand wants it to be, we're a happy people. We're a happy bunch of people. So it wasn't lawyer, whatever they were doing, they needed to communicate with their list of employees that they wanted other people to join them that felt the same way. So I had to capture happy, and capturing happy could be cracking a joke. So there's different ways of accomplishing certain things, but just to be clear, there's also certain ways of capturing it. So once you facilitate an emotion, what are you going to do with it? Like really, it's going to be gone in less than a second, and you got to capture it. But how do you capture it? And that's part of the card. There's certain ways of making certain you're capturing that gold that you just manifested. And then the problem is, if you capture too much, you have to deal with sorting it and finding the right ones. And there's actually a better way to pick out the right photos based on you, the photographer, feeling the correct photo, not analyzing the correct photo, but feeling it. And that's a very, very quick process. So it's it's hand in hand. There's different pieces of this system to make it easily work for photographers in any scenario, to make them capture that authenticity in any situation, even if you have 2 minutes.
Wow. That's powerful. That's powerful, because you got to be on top of your game, man. You got to be all over that without losing it, because you're already hurried up or stressed from what you're doing. What about someone,
question, Brian? Yeah, love it.
Yeah, go for it, man.
How do you get someone to relax when they're focused on posing? let me think this one through. When they're focused, so sometimes there will be a pose. Oh, actually, one thing. I actually have something called motion posing. Actually, so something about moving into the pose, right? So let's say I have a pose. Whatever the pose is, there's something about we know the pose, and motion always works to do this. If you're literally taking like not even a step back, but even like I can be sitting down and doing it. But if I'm moving into the pose, once I arrive, it just adds that life. That's one way to get them distracting from posing, is to keep them to get them moving a bit.
I love that. That's that. I get it, man. That makes a lot of sense, to be able to come to the moment.
Exactly, Rod.
Making it
exactly. And in the motion, sorry. And in them moving, it's crazy. Somehow motion keeps them just for that time. They almost like you can only do one thing at a time. And if you're focused on moving, you forgot about the photographer. And the cool thing is, it doesn't have to be big physical motion. It could be even eye motion, closing your eyes, opening up again, moving your eyes from that way. There's something about the little tiny micro movement that strangely accomplishes the same thing of allowing the subject to forget for a microsecond that there's a photographer with a camera in their face.
Yeah, because people, I assume it's just a natural thing. People put up walls instantly, especially some people do, and that vanillas, that blands out any kind of shot, because as you're driving to, and I hear it time and time again, it's about making the subject forget and just be authentic and be them.
Exactly, and it's funny. Yeah. It's not so hard. And actually, I'm just going to add a little something here. Just a little, this is like, there's a bunch of gimmies in this thing. I usually don't give out so much stuff, but seriously, there's a lot of good stuff. There's like, 5, 6, 7 little, really gems here. And one, I'm just going to give it away, whatever. Just paying attention to what the subject is doing anyways. You can even, I've heard this from someone else. So I get stuff wherever I get it. One of the things I'm bringing is for us just to think about this, to know that it's not secondary, it's primary. We should be talking about it and gathering ideas and tricks and stuff. And it's a crazy, amazing idea, is kind of pretend that your camera is not working and allowing that person just to do for a second, do their own thing, click, and be ready to click. You're faking something that you're not ready, faking not being ready, but also genuinely just wait. There's a level of just waiting for this, noticing if the subject is just not noticing you and they're just in their own world. And then you have to sneak a click, but there's so much happening without even doing anything. It's just happening, Yeah,
it's a fascinating dichotomy when you're taking pictures and you're grabbing a moment in time, and the difference between that moment being authentic or feeling right or all the other things, all the other things make the aesthetics get ready for this. But unless you hit that authenticity, I did it again. Authenticity. I'm having a weird day, man. Don't take any pictures of me, because you're going to just see this crazy wacko thing going on. So as we're just kind of starting to wrap up here.
But Rod, can I just respond to what you were just saying?
Yeah. We're not done, dude. Okay, I just want to make sure
that I think what were you saying? Yeah, that in that scenario, like candids happen, wedding photography. Right, documentary photography. Candids happen and they capture moments in time in beautiful ways, and you can learn how to do that, right? And usually you're doing that when the subject is not aware of you, and it's kind of not easy because it's an industry in itself. It's a study in itself. How do you capture candids correctly? But now we're talking about the most difficult possible way to, when my lights went out, one of the most difficult scenarios to capture a candid when the subject knows you're there, and to have that candid be equally wonderful and specific Like, really, candid, capture a specific candid? A candid is, it
Yeah.
has to be, no, you can capture, you can find a way to elicit a very, very specific, the correct sense of the subject that is needed for their client to say yes to them and say, yeah, I like this kind of person because he or she is fill in the blank. And that fill in the blank really can be anything. And you, as a photographer, I think, let's just think about it in terms of integrity. If somebody's coming to you, they need help to have more business. And if you don't know how to do that level, that second level photography, that second level, that's the real marketing.
Yeah.
Like,
You have no business doing that.
and I don't want to be so hard, but it's kind of, yes, but I don't want to be too tough. But think about it.
And I'll tell you just about everybody, including professional models or so forth, they when starting out, they don't have any of this expertise. They know, they've been told they should get into show business or modeling or whatever. But typically you're not educating yourself about modeling and headshot and this marketing, because I remember modeling, there's a lot of marketing going on. I pass around my card now about my business. I'm going to have to make a new one for this podcast. I'm getting really excited about it. Barbie and I are throwing a couple ideas around. But back then, instead of passing around my card to a customer so that it had all my contact information, I passed around a headshot to my customer that did the same exact thing.
That's usually,
right.
And right now, for the photo is really what is the top of the line. Nobody's gonna read anything if the photo, it's usually the biggest, it's usually the most prominent on a website. It's the banner thing as a photo.
Yeah.
If somebody something about that photo, they're not gonna read your content. They're just not going to. And once again, usually the lighting doesn't cause somebody to say yes. Really, oh, I love your lighting more than this person's lighting, I'm definitely going to go with you. It's almost silly when you think about it. It kind of, doing lighting correctly, it kind of sets the stage as a basic level of, yes, this person is a professional photographer. I mean, is a professional, and they were smart enough to get a professional photographer. And yes, I trust them to some degree because they know how to do things. They're going to do things correctly because they got a professional photo. But that's just about it. There's lots more beyond that.
Oh, there's a ton more. Have we missed it? I know we jumped around just a tiny bit, but I think we hit every point here.
We got it.
Moving along. Are you feel good about it? Anything you want to add? All right. So why don't you wrap up, and then I'll send you back to the green room, as I like to say, and then there'll be a couple more minutes. I'll wrap up and we'll say hi to everybody. If you're interested, folks, there's another show starting. I think it's 12:30. But anyway, John, please finish up.
So this is just wonderful, just sharing my ideas, and
it's awesome.
I happen to have I'm in the process of launching this course in the next week or two. I think it's going to be actually launched, and my intention is just to give any photographer, it's usually mostly new photographers, they don't already think they know how to do it, and what are you teaching me this thing I know how to do already? Right. People that are now learning other aspects of headshot photography. It's a 3-month program to become the ninja, to become that expert who can truly serve your clients the way they deserve to be treated, so that that one photo, they're spending a lot of money, they're spending a lot of time, that photo will do the best it possibly can to convert their viewers to actually clients.
That is fantastic. I love it. Hey, if you'll notice, I just put my email on the down in the comments, or whatever you want to call it. The reason I do that is because a lot of times a bunch more people, just like anybody does, they watch it later. And I'll get comments of, hey, what did he mean by this? Or, hey, this, that. And you're the expert, I'm not. So I would, if you don't mind, as you say goodbye, and it just, you see the text thing down there?
Yep.
All right. Just as I'm signing off, say bye to everybody.
Thanks, you guys. Great.
That
This
was a
great.
blast, man.
That was
I
a
loved
blast,
it.
Rod. You
All right.
rock. That was awesome.
That's my opinion too. Now, I'm going to set you in the green room. I'm going to wrap up some things, and I'm not going to do it until you put in your contact. Say bye-bye.
Okay. I wish I knew my professional email address, but I don't. You got my private email address. Okay. Thanks so much, Rod.
You bet. My pleasure, John. It was awesome. All right. Wow. I was really intrigued by that for what you heard, for the reason that you heard before. And, you know, I had a little bit of experience in this, but I remember there were moments in photo shoots where it just just came right in. And that, like he said, that life came out, that let's call it an aura for the heck of it, came out, and instantly you knew that that photo was that moment. And there's also the as John said, be professional, because there's also the ones that, and everybody can see that moment, but imagine clicking on it a second too late. That's a little bummer. But well, nowadays you can shutter it, but back then it was and so on. So come back in another couple hours. We're going to be doing the next show, and you know, I love you guys, man. I love you, and I love the support. And by the way, John, so you know, I think you went one. I believe the highest before was 902. You hit 903. So I'm giving you the unofficial champion guest attractor. You know, people love the camera stuff, right? So I'm going to get off now. Otherwise, I'll just start mumbling because I like to. And we'll go from there. Come on back in an hour and a half or so. And then you got, hey, I don't see your stuff down there, John. Oh, wait, you sent it to a private. Can you not send it to the, yeah, you sent it to the private chat. Do you have a public chat there, John?
Oh, here we go. Join the chat.
All right.
Here we go.
You're on TV, so don't cuss at me.
How do I,
so if you go down to the, I don't know what you're looking at, but if you go down to the bottom here,
it says
where the chat is, yeah, there's public chat and private chat. Comments, go to comments versus private chat. It should be the very top button on your right-hand side. Great. Hey, that's producer Barbie. John, BSR. Yep. There, producer Barbie is hanging out with us in California.
I don't know how to do it there.
All right. Let me see if I can do it this way. Here, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do this. I'm gonna look pretty competent here for the first time today.
Well, actually, can you just type it out, Ashley?
No.
How about that? Can you just type it out?
I'm going to. Wait, where'd it go? Oh, am I in the?
Oh, I think I got it.
I think it went out there, didn't it? Oh shit! I haven't sent it. There. Is that what you were looking for?
Jon Fischer photo at gmail.com. Did it go on?
Yeah, we're all set. Hey, John, have a good one. Enjoy. What time is it there? Yeah, you bet. What time is it there?
It's Central Time, so it's your time too.
Oh, okay. Enjoy.
Thanks.
Talk to you later.
Take care, buddy. Thank you.
All right, you bet. Always. Hey, Barbie, producer Barbie. Thank you very much for the chime in there. I'm going to wrap up now. I've got another. I'm being. I don't know. I've got this thing in an hour, and then right after that is the last show of the day. But we're doing shows every week, every day of the week. So jump on. I think we're booking out into March now. Actually, a couple of Aprils came in yesterday. Sorry. That's it. I'm out. Love you guys. Go say hi to somebody. Wave at somebody if you don't know them. Talk to a next door neighbor. Compliment somebody on their hair if it catches you. You know, just create a vibe that is needed, and you're in it. So now it's there. Create a vibe that's more appealing than when you started out the day. You know, just build up, and it's all positive attitude and this and that, but really it isn't. It's about Kiki. I don't know if you're on Kiki, but she's in Sweden. But she really got me. Well, actually, producer Barbie did originally, and then when Kiki started talking and communicating about frequency and vibe and all that, I get it, man. I get it. Anyway, I gotta stop talking. I'm otherwise I'm not going to make it to the show. Love you guys. Thanks, Barbie. I see the smiley face. All right, go say hi to somebody, man. Love you guys. Thank you for the support.